We'll start with gluttony, which is defined as the overindulgence of eating and drinking.
Right. Gluttony sounds simpler than it is. It sounds personal, overeating. And that's certainly a hot topic these days with obesity rates skyrocketing in North America. But ultimately, it isn't the glutton who suffers, it's others. On a global scale, the more we eat, the less other people eat, because we all use those resources. And it goes beyond people to animals, to the land and to the water. We are water gluttons, land gluttons, air gluttons.
How does this tie into the spiritual message you were talking about earlier? This is a painting of a horse skull, and North Americans don't traditionally eat horse.
We're really good at metaphysical gluttony as well. The overeating of animals around us isn't necessarily physical, although we do that with many animals, but with our storytelling and our myths and our everyday exploitation of animals.
Can you please describe gluttony for our listeners, the painting that you've done?
Gluttony is a large horse skull in grays and blues, warm and cold, sitting over a hot desert, cooling as the night falls. Its empty eye socket sees what is before it and what is behind it. The skeletal mouth grins, grimaces, as it surveys the barren landscape. It represents gluttony, the overindulgence of humanity in eating the entire world for dinner. The flesh is loosened from the horse and opened our eyes to our own sin by letting us see the familiar in a way that is unfamiliar. We all know what a horse looks like, but not many of us know a horse's skull. Look deeply at the skull and its rotund jaw protruding like a fat man's belly, and you can see the whorls and swirls of where the blood once fed flesh, and flesh once fed human myth. We honor animals by making them noble, and then smack our lips as we destroy their habitat and their lives to fulfill our own gluttonous fantasies. The fading daylight makes the scene bearable, for soon night will come and hide our sin, diminish it. Except we know by the inner light of the skull that it's not to be hidden again. I don't want people to feel shame. I want them to face their place in this story. There is no shame in the beauty of this destruction, in this memento mori. And there is no shame in wanting to see it at the golden hour when the sun makes the world its most beautiful. You can lose yourself in the open landscape, and then find yourself in the intricacies of color of the skull. It's protecting you and encasing you. Bare bones are a thing of beauty, the antithesis of gluttony, the emptiness of sin which transforms the viewer. The horse forgives your human weakness and leaves you cleansed so you can find your own voice, your own place within gluttony. The more you accept ownership of your sins, I think, the better you are at understanding and maybe even controlling them.